Hey there, 7-Minute Sales Minute listeners. It's Fish. John and I just completed a marathon recording session where we went rapid fire and non-stop. When the dust settled, we had already talked for about 45 minutes. Rather than give you a giant episode to digest, we're going to chunk it down into 3 bite-sized episodes. Here's part 1. Enjoy. I'm Scott Fishman.
I'm John Dwoskin.
And this is the 7-Minute Salesman.
Welcome, everybody.
Good morning, John.
Fish, good morning. How are you?
Doing great today, man.
Me too.
I feel like I'm back in action after being sick for a few days.
That always feels good. There's lots of bugs going around.
Yeah,
I've had something in my family. Yeah.
Well, I got bitten.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, John. So, we were talking a little bit off the air and thinking about what we're going to talk about this week. And I really was thinking about the fact that you are on the road a hell of a lot more than I am. Like you're kind of more of a mobile office type of guy.
Yeah.
And obviously when you have a mobile office, you have to have like your backpack or your kit, your briefcase.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking about what you have, like what do you take with you on a daily basis that helps you do your job?
So, I think, when you look at, I just want to comment on a couple of things that you said. When you look at, I have a mobile office. I have no office. I have an office in my house. I have Wi-Fi in my car, and I, will do conference calls around the country in my car. And then I go to clients' offices or I fly to their offices. And when you have a mobile office like that, you need great resources. And so just a quick study, they say by the year 2027, 50% of the workforce globally will be freelancers. And so there will be more mobile offices and shared office spaces in the next 5, 6, 7 years than we've ever seen. That I think will be very economical. And so, but what's really important is that you not only have a great team, but you utilize the resources that are accessible at your fingertips. So just going back to your question though, what's in my backpack? I have an iPad with that I use for my notebook and good notes. I have my laptop. I have a book to read in case I have a little bit of downtime, which I never really get to. And I have really just a pair of Bose headsets that when I'm at a coffee shop. And that's really about it. And some miscellaneous stuff. Oh, like a checkbook and things of that nature. But what I really utilize is what I get access to once my computer turns on, which is
that's
huge.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's what I think we should be talking about today is like, how do you not only run a mobile business, but any business today? It's interesting. I think there's a big difference between innovation and growth, right? A lot of times people think like, oh my God, I gotta grow. I gotta get big. But really you can grow a really big company using innovation to just make you more efficient and effective.
Agreed. And that's something I fall prey to this. I fall prey to wanting to have the perfect tool to do a job. And for example, when I wrote my first book, I was like, I'm not going to start writing because I want to get this amazing laptop so I can write this book and I can take it to the coffee shop and I can do all this stuff. And it's like, at the end of the day, you don't need that. You need a pen and a paper.
Right.
And it's like, we try to look for the perfect tool to do something and we put it off. So with the what's in my bag thing, at the end of the day, like on the weekend when I leave the office, I always bring my laptop home. I bring my notebook home. I've got one of those Wacom things that you can write on it and it transfers your notes to your phone and your computer.
Those are great.
And at the end of the day, sometimes my laptop never comes out. I VPN into my office on my home computer and I'm there. So I think what's in your bag, and that's one of the reasons why we want to talk about this, is what's in your bag can literally be a phone. Yeah. You can run a business from a cell phone these days. Yeah. Really, the tools that you use that are on that phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, on your whatever you're using, on someone else's computer that you log into, believe it or not. Yeah. As crazy as that sounds, you can just log in to someone else's computer at a client's office and have your entire suite of systems up, if I'm not mistaken.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is, you just got to be smart about it. And it's not as overwhelming as people may think. And we're going to walk you through a lot of the tools today that you can use to do exactly what we're talking about. I just want to add one thing. I do keep a Moleskine notebook and a couple old school Bic pens with 4 colors in my bag in case my computers aren't working.
I love those pens. I need to go buy one of those pens today now.
Yeah, I'll give you some. I buy them in bulk. They're the greatest.
Nice.
Yeah, from Amazon. So, all right. So let's get started, Fish. Let's talk about a ton of tools today that everybody can use. I'll kick it off because I think one of the most important things is a CRM, and it amazes me how many people don't use a CRM. Because they take some time to learn and they take some time to become efficient in, but short-term pain, long-term gain when it comes to them, when it comes to CRMs such as Salesforce or HubSpot. I just want to say this too. We have no referral fees of anything we're talking about today. These are simply tools that we believe work and can help people. So I just want to kind of put that out there. So Salesforce and HubSpot are huge to have and great and productive CRMs.
Right. And just for those, just in case you don't know, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And it is a way to keep track of everything. I think back in the day, and John, it's funny. I say back in the day, but I've been doing this for over 20 years. It's the exact same system.
Wow.
A legal pad was my CRM.
Yeah.
And I use it like still, legit.
Yeah.
I can go back 20 years.
Yeah.
I have them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's still many people's CRM, and we're not taking away from the written word. But in today's day and age, you got to go from the writing it on the legal pad to putting quintessential information in the CRM notes.
Right.
Yeah.
And also a CRM, Salesforce, it can do so many things. You can have not only notes, it keeps track of birthdays. It can give you reminders. It knows when the last time you called, when the last time you emailed. You can email directly from it, text directly from it. There's so many things you can do. It really can be an amazing tool. And some of these, believe it or not, I think are too much. They can be a little bit unwieldy at times. But just using one is super important.
Well, I know, and a lot of times people get some custom interfaces for Salesforce to kind of make it a little bit more custom for their company. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of those companies end up doing training on, their element of it, because it is, you could spend, 10 hours a day trying to figure out how to use some of these CRMs, but you use what's relevant to you. I just want to say, you were talking about emailing from them. Very common. A lot of times people use MailChimp and Constant Contact to use as marketing tools from CRMs, and it makes it much simpler to extract the emails and everything that you are doing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how we email everyone from, just kidding. We don't actually email our listeners. We should start.
We
maybe
really
one
don't.
Day,
maybe we should. Yeah. All right, good. So CRM, if you want to run your business, look, I think Fish, you and I think the same on this. If you want to look at your business and how to grow it, and you're looking at the quantifiable way to grow it, you can put pen to paper or however you want, and know that if it takes a little bit of time up front, but it gives you an extra 50, 60, 70, 100 hours a year to be more efficient, you can pencil out the X amount of thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of dollars you can make additionally each year by mastering your CRM.
Right. John, I'll share with the listeners and you probably, we've talked about this. My father was in sales forever.
Yeah.
He's pretty much retired now, but he's been in sales his entire life. That's how I learned, like literally at the teat, I learned how to sell. And I used to laugh because he didn't have 3x5 cards. He had 3x5 sheets of paper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how whether he cut them himself or whatever the hell he did. And we're talking, he sold windows, and he would go to people's houses, and he had years and years and years worth of these sheets of paper.
Yeah.
And he was organized chaos. And I'm the same way. I mean, you can see behind me where we do this on video, you can see there's always a little bit of a mess in my office. There used to be a lot more mess in my office, but he would pull out a box. He'd be like, okay, January 1987. And he'd pull out that box, and like he'd have all these things. And I'm like, Jesus, what a pain in the ass to go through that. But he knew exactly where to find something.
Yeah.
but what was he actually doing with them?
Right.
They were there. Like the trigger would have to be in his head. Hey, reach out to the Smith family because, they knew that after 15 years, they were going to redo this window or something.
Yeah.
Whereas the CRM would actually pop up a reminder for all the people. You can set the reminders as you put information into a note. You wouldn't be relying on yourself or having it in a written calendar. And then the crazy part is, I don't know if he really did much with those sheets of paper, but he had a flood and lost them all. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, right. It's completely gone. So CRM, it works. Back it up.
Right. Back it up. Absolutely. I just want to comment on a couple of things. You have the CRM, you use Salesforce and HubSpot. That doesn't take the place of having to be a student and master of your calendar and great with time management. We've talked a lot about that. I use iCalendar. You use something different, Fish. But then taking the information, what you can and can't do from your CRM with the MailChimps and the Constant Contact, I use Entreport for a back-end evergreen email campaign. Mm-hmm. So if you're on an email campaign of mine, divided differently by different groups, I use Entreport to create information for a year or so at a time that spits out on a consistent basis, and it becomes hands-off. So I just, as another tool, which is kind of a tree off of the CRM, I think that's really important as well.
So folks, if you get an email from John, he didn't type it that day. It's not personal.
Well, a lot of them are. Yeah.
But don't take it personally, though.
Well, but when there are personal ones and there's ones that are just part of a campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do try to personalize it a little bit. I just want to say that.
Yes, and we've come a long way. I will share a funny story, personal story with John and I. We've come a long way with how these things are automated. When John first got a Palm Pilot, he would put things in something called Redo.
Yeah,
remember that?
Of course.
He would have all of our birthdays in Redo. He's been on this tip for years. So we've come a long way as far as this stuff goes. So I want to talk about the next tool that we listed out on this list, and that's Grammarly, which a lot of people don't know about. And for me, it's a lifesaver. I know for you, because we both do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Grammarly is like spell check on steroids. It goes into your browser. It's a browser plugin. So literally everything you type on your computer, even you install it, and it tells you if your grammar is correct. It tells you if you spelled something incorrectly. It gives you punctuation. It tells you everything that you've done. And then, believe it or not, it gives you reports at the end of the month. Like, here's what you've written. Here's how many words you've written. Here's how many mistakes you made. Here's your most common mistake.
Yeah.
Like, it's an unbelievable tool, because to me, nothing screams unprofessional like a poorly written email, a poorly written document, where I actually had to, one of my folks this week, she actually typed an email to a new client of hers, and I was like, your grammar was way off on this. And she's like, yeah, but I think that's how I would have said it. I was like, well, you would have said it wrong. Like,
right. Don't
fix
fight
this next time.
Right. Grammarly knows more. Right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well said on that one. The next one I want to chat about is, real quickly, it's just another offshoot of the CRM. It's not an offshoot, but another thing to think about is Pipedrive for people who need to manage their pipeline. So if you're not using Salesforce as a CRM, or you're not using HubSpot, and you need something to manage your pipeline, Pipedrive is a great, very inexpensive, effective tool that you can buy. So that one is great. I know a lot of people who use it, and it's really, really effective.
Very cool. All right, folks, that concludes part 1 of this marathon episode of the 7-Minute Sales Minute. Stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Now, no excuses. It's time to put everything you listen to into action. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop listening and doing nothing with this information. Take this information, implement it into your day, kick some ass, grow your business, grow your sales, make more money, have more fun, have a better life, period, the end.
What he said.